Okay, today we're looking at Art House, which is a 42-story luxury condo building in the middle of downtown. There are 244 residences, and it ranges from 1,300 square foot units all the way up to 4,000 square foot units.
So let's just start off with location. So I gave 400 Central a 9 for location, and for Art House I'm going to give it an 8. And it seems kind of ironic that I'm doing that, being that Art House is closer to the water than 400 Central, but I'm just not a big fan of the block it's on. I feel like the block it's on is just it's a younger crowd, type bar crowd, and it does, I get that the entrance faces first, but it just feels like it's going to be a little noisy there, and if I'm paying that kind of money, I'd probably want to just be in a different location regardless. So that's where I came up to on that.
I gave it an 8 just because I don't care for that block. I think it would be noisy, and you're paying so much money for coming right out of your beautiful condo onto that block. Just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it does seem like this condominium kind of focused towards like work from home stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wonder how that is going to work out. I mean, I guess you're not going to be working late at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would assume, but
Some people do.
yeah, some people do.
Okay, so that's location. I guess we'll move right along to construction and build quality. What'd you give for that, Sean?
Construction, I gave it an 8, and this was not any reason besides like, I think it looks like a sturdy, great building, concrete building. The reason I gave it an 8 is it just wasn't as unique as I thought it could have been or something, but I do feel like there's benefits to that too, where like, some buildings are more unique and that's gonna be more maintenance later on, more issues dealing with, but I wasn't as impressed by the building, but I wondered too if that was something because I saw 400 Central go up and that was such a unique shape. I think that was a factor into it too.
Mm-hmm.
But
what'd you give it, Samantha?
I gave it an 8. I just feel like it is boxy, like it's that typical condo feel. I do like that it's closer to the water, so the view's probably better. But again, 400 Central, that 360 view is beautiful too.
Right.
And then I also agree with you, the retail space, you want to be able to go downstairs and have businesses there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, grab a coffee or, print something, buy something from a boutique. So, if you don't really have anything down there, it's kind of like, well, what are you using the space for?
Mm-hmm. That's a good point too, that the 400 Central has a usable top floor that people that don't live in a penthouse can still go up there and enjoy the view.
Mm-hmm.
But Art House doesn't. Its Cloud 9 deck is on the 9th floor, and the building is 42 stories tall. So a lot of people on those lower floors are never really going to get to reap the benefits of the high views like 400 Central allows for that opportunity for people that live there.
I do think too, you probably, depending on which way you face, you probably have to deal with the bank building right over there, so that's going to be something that blocks you. You have one, which is right there too, so it depends on the floor you're on, I would think of that. The one thing with 400 Central, I thought it was great because it's kind of a unique shape, so you're not really like...
There's no corners.
Yeah, you're right. And it's angled in such a way that there's not a lot of buildings blocking the view.
But I did want to say in regards to like the commercial space on the bottom, we do have to remember that this is a small space compared to 400 Central. 400 Central is a whole block.
That's true.
Which, that's a whole other factor in it too.
Mm-hmm. Another thing about Art House too, I will say, there's not a lot of closets on the floor plans. And they do have an opportunity to have a storage locker. Each unit comes with extra storage space. But when I had a client looking at it, one thing that we were trying to figure out is where is she going to put all of her extra stuff. And eventually she decided it's going to be in a bedroom.
Wow.
Because there's really not a ton of closet space.
Well, what about even like stuff like, do they have storage for like bikes or something like that?
They do,
Okay.
they have bike storage.
Okay.
Yeah, there are other ways to use the building, but one parking spot and not a lot of closets.
Yeah.
So it almost does make it sound like it's more of a second home setup. Okay, Let's move on to value. Sean, what'd you give it for value?
Value, I kind of just gave it a 7.5, man. And I know that's kind of, it feels so low for what this building is, but I think a lot of that has to do with just where it is and how much I'd be willing to pay for where it is. And again, it just brings me back to that uniqueness, you know? Like, I think it could be a great building for someone for sure, but like, if I have a choice, right? You know, it's like, yeah. So for me, I did 7.5. Just, I think location played into a factor. It's not, you know, there's nothing that stands out that's special about the building in a sense, like from a construction design, but yeah, so 7.5.
Okay, I gave it an 8. I saw the least expensive unit sold in this building was just over $1 million. Whoever bought that got a sweet deal. Most of them are selling north of that in the like 1.5 to 2 range is kind of the average for most of the units. In fact, yeah, the average is 1.68 million. 833 per price per square foot, which is slightly lower than 400 Central.
Yeah.
Yes, but the average unit is 1 bedroom less than the average unit sold at 400 Central.
Yeah.
So not quite comparing apples to oranges there, but the most expensive sale in Art House has been 3.24 million, at least the most expensive sale reported in the MLS. And it does seem like the penthouses of Art House are more expensive and offer a little bit more than the top floor penthouses in 400 Central. But all in all, pretty comparable, priced very similarly. I gave it an 8 in value because I agree the uniqueness isn't quite there like it is with 400 Central. The noise from the bar district right there, not super ideal. But, you know, it's really close. These two buildings are almost like twins. I mean, they're offering the same product with slightly different variances. I imagine most people are going to prefer one over the other, and that's just going to be preference.
Or
but
amenities, but even
or amenities,
are
but
similar even
correct.
at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, what, you know?
I mean, the biggest difference with the amenities is the sky deck versus the...
And the sky deck is something that I'd want to show off to someone.
Totally.
You know what I mean? That's a big, I don't know, that'd be a fun thing to show off to people.
Yeah, but I gave it an 8 in value. Maybe that's a little low considering how comparable it is to 400 Central. But I do think that for those factors, there's at least, you're able to make a difference between the two buildings. What'd you give it?
I would give it a 7.5 as well, just because I think the block that it's on is not great. And like you said, okay, so somebody got a deal for just over $1 million, but like you're spending $1 million.
Yeah.
It really depends on your lifestyle. You know, if that's something that, you know, you work at an office and you come home and maybe you're going out at night and doing the same thing, okay, cool. Or if you're somebody that stays in and you work at night and you need that peace, okay, then that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the lifestyle, because yes, they're offering two similar products. Me personally, I think I would prefer 400 Central just because it's more of a luxurious building. It's unique. There's the top floor amenity deck where you can take, like you said, take people up there. It's just kind of more of a showstopper in my opinion. That's why I give it a 7.5.
So interesting that we're giving it a worse rating being closer to the water by 2 blocks. I mean, it's right there. It's hardly any
I
different.
also think there's a lot of stuff going on all over Central too.
Yeah.
So even just like, oh cool, I'm going to the Edge District, I'm that much closer. Oh cool, I'm gonna walk over to Grand Central. Cool.
Yes.
You know, I'm already a couple blocks, you know. Even being past 4th Street just feels like you're past some type of busyness. So I don't know how to describe it, you know. But
No, you're right. That's actually a good point. Those blocks in between the water and Art House, they don't have that much to offer.
No,
really.
no.
Like, it's a lot of commercial space.
Yeah.
Oak and Stones right there. Then there's a history
Got
museum.
the museum right there.
Yeah, and then I guess towards the waterfront, the only restaurant I can think of is Locals. But yeah, I guess when you compare living in Ovation and having Beach Drive right there,
that's a
all those
different-
restaurants, or even in 400 Central's case, that strip of Lonnie's and the Italian restaurant, and then Edge District and the Central Arts District. Those are two of the best food districts. So
That's
Art
where all
House
the
isn't
food
necessarily
goes
better
there.
by being
Yeah.
closer to the water. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being 7.5 is a pretty good rating. I feel like so.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like
mean,
being kind of hard. I
I think
don't
it's
know.
pretty good.
But-
But it's like, well, what are you spending your money on? Somebody like that's going to make an investment.
Yeah.
What are they coming to St. Pete for?
Mhm.
I don't think they're coming to go to the bars.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
maybe they'll go to like a higher end bar.
Yeah.
But they're coming to spend money on nice restaurants, the downtown shopping, the beaches, going to Tampa, you know,
Mhm.
that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I would prefer.
Okay, overall we gave Art House an 8.11. Do you guys think that that's a fair rating? Is it too low?
I think that's a fair rating. I think that actually, I'm just glad. Yeah, I think above 8 is a fair rating. It's a nice new condo building in downtown St. Pete. You know, I mean,
Well, if you're making a purchase now, you probably wouldn't be thinking as much about the buildings so much as what is available,
yeah,
what inventory is available.
True.
Because your view, there's just limited options left now. I think early into picking your unit, then you could have gotten into the weeds on, oh, I'd much prefer this
Yeah.
amenities versus this. But I think now, at this point, it's going to be an individual case-by-case decision. If you're a buyer and you're looking at new construction in St. Pete, you're probably not going to rule out any of these buildings, considering they're all in the same price range.
yeah.
It's probably going to come down to unit specifically, floor plan, view that you have,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I mean, lack of clarity in HOA monthly fees is tough too.
Yeah.
When these buildings get built, they don't exactly know
They
what the
estimate.
monthly fee is going to be correct, so it's a
Yeah.
But
guess.
it-
I mean, 2 years from now, if you go to resell one of these units, it might be valued differently
Yeah,
because of the HOA difference.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
monthly payment's different at that point. But that's what I'm just not including this, but that's why I was so confused with Nolan, dude. Nolan was estimated at 1,500, and then I'm looking at the resales; they're 2,500 a month. How much did that f- someone up when they bought it? You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah.
Or does that price, or does that buyer not even matter at that point? You know what I mean? It's like $1,000, just more a month. Who cares? You know, like my mom would be, but
Yeah.
like, you
That's a
know,
lot of
like,
money.
Yeah.
yeah.